Hello, welcome back to Commaful Vibe Time with Brighton Hugg. This is the 4th episode, the second one I filmed today, and I am primed and ready. I am so hyped right now. The last one ended off really strong, and I'm going to continue it right here with the moderately entertaining adventures of Mr. Bush and Mr. Fern, and sometimes a raccoon, which must be read in a British accent. A continuation of a story I wrote yesterday. Yes, pardon my British accent, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at it. But I am doing my best, and that is what matters. What do you mean a tickle fight to the death? He said a pickle fight to the meth, you bumbling idiot. He thought you were drug dealers. What with your trench coat and all that? Retorted the raccoon after the story was told. And you guys are really bad at speaking penguin. Alright, but how did you know to save us? Inquired Mr. Fern, who had come over from the rock in the corner and taken off the moose head. Well, he began as he flashed back to 15 minutes ago. The raccoon knew something was up. He could tell it in his fur. Based on the way it was standing up, Mr. Bush was trying to win a bet. Immediately as he realized this, he was on his way to the nearest vehicle store, Eels and Excavators. He ran into the store, bought an excavator, ate it, realized that's not what excavators are for, bought another, named it Bessie after his mother-in-law, crashed Bessie into a ditch on accident, bought one more, named it Bessie too after his ex-wife's ex-father-in-law, and crashed it into a ditch on purpose. He bought a fourth, named it Bessie -4 quadrillion and 62, and actually drove it for a few minutes before crashing into a mountain. He was about to go buy another when he heard a noise that sounded distinctly like a man being beaten senseless by a pickle while another man tickled a rock nearby. He went over to investigate and discovered that he had crashed into a cave. And to his good luck, he saw Mr. Bush being beaten senseless by a pickle-wielding penguin. Alright, I've been this far. I don't want to relive it, said Mr. Bush. Wait a minute, whatever happened with Beaver Dam? We just left it cracked, maybe even collapsed. Well, in our defense, we were kidnapped by penguins. Let's go see what's left, suggested the raccoon. They got into the excavator and flew to the Beaver Dam. They saw that the hole had grown to approximately penguin size. They plugged it with Refty and finally flew home to Kansas. The raccoon crashed into Mr. Fern's house, which was next door to Mr. Bush's house. They had never met until today. They all went into Mr. Bush's house, not the raccoon, he was socially awkward, and sat down around a plate of pickled baby doll heads. Well, Mr. Fern, I know how much you like tickling people, so I'm sorry you didn't get anything out of this, sympathized Mr. Bush. Not exactly, countered Mr. Fern. That rock and I are going out on Friday. Well then, all's well that ends well, replied Mr. Bush. There's absolutely no loose ends or unresolved problems that we need to fix. Nothing negative came out of this situation. Absolutely everybody involved in this got out happily. Quit foreshadowing, Mr. Bush, replied Mr. Fern. Refty's anger boiled and burned. How dare they just shove him in there? He was in agony. His entire front half was perforated and bloated by stings. His pain had allowed him to rest, and he was too exhausted to move. In a burst of energy fueled by rage, he managed a wrathful "Whoa!" which was rewarded by a protein-filled mouthful of bees. That is beautiful. I love that ending. This story is so captivating. It's really hard to keep this kind of enthusiasm as you keep on going, which is why I'm so amazed that you still have so much vigor, and I hope you stay that way, because this is so fun to read. I really hope you come up with more. And if it turns into a book, publish it on Amazon, and I will hopefully buy it if I can afford it. The next post is by Clear and Simple. Her eyes lit up. by Simply Unsimple. Her eyes lit up as she tore across the grounds, waiting to meet her destiny. She'd been waiting here her entire life, for the exchange of a time is a big crime. I'm seeing my father today, she gasped. Her eyes lit up. I will meet him. She spun around to see her mother, and gasping, she exchanged a hug. I will meet him, she repeated, looking down at her sister. And I'll bring you a gallon of his love. He surely has enough of it for you. And she readily looked at her brother, and she smiled. One last hug, she asked hopefully, the tears falling from her cheek. Fine, but just this time, he said, even knowing he'd never see her again. Don't waste your time here with us, her mom said. She reached out, wiped a single tear from each person's face, and kissed her finger. I'll never forget you, she said, as she exchanged another hug with all of them. And she exchanged a hug with time as she stepped through. And one last exchange was made this fateful night, with space, time, and love. This exchange was with her father. And guess what it was? It was nothing more than a simple hug. I just got chills. Wow. The mood you set up with this poem was expertly executed. It builds up. The emotion is so strong throughout, and it builds up to a perfect end. Very well done. I love it so much. This next work is by Neutral. I found some really old poems in my Google Docs, so I'm going to put them on here. Hope you like. Numb. We sat on our sailboat, the moon lighting up our eyes, smiling sadly at our crumbling sky. The moon sent shards, the shards sent waves, chipping at the love we gave. We tried the tape, the staples, the glue, holding on tightly as the waves grew, till the last shard fell, and our boat was broke, and our love no longer stayed afloat. We knew it would end, that the water would dry, but deep down, we let out a sigh. I'm not happy nor sad, and this might sound dumb, but the way I'm feeling, I call it numb. So thank you for the smiles, and hope, and even stress. Good luck on your journey. I wish you the best. Wow, that is so nice. It has a cadence to it. And the format really works well with the cadence that this has. I relate to numbness. It's what I feel when I don't know what to feel. 'Cause sometimes life be like that. It be like that sometimes. As Oscar Gamble once said, they don't think it be like it is, but it do. And next we have something by Imaginary Writer called Perplexing Blueprints. Ever had a dream which seemed more alike a message from universe? Before going to sleep, I used to talk to God and ask for guidance through a dream. After many years, I did it again, and I had a dream which actually confused me. I considered it as a message from God. Entered in fantasy, shutting eyes, fleeing from actuality, dashed from distress, oblivious to surroundings, drifted on rainbow, levitating in air, world of prospects, phantom in dreams, terrified by phantasm, imperiled yet safe, omens from universe, catching clues, dreams merely agents, perceived blueprints, jotting dots, a universal messenger. Wow, very nice. Excellent word choice. This poem is also excellent. Very well written. I love the format, and I think these spaces in between with GIFs or GIFs, I don't know what how they're pronounced. Yeah, it's very effective in helping us digest the poem. Not as in eat, but as in brain. From fruit to juice. by Miss Bell. Be creative. Very good message. Typically, you just buy juice, if it is juice you crave. But some people are more independent. They use a juicier, so brave. Others don't have the patience to work half a fruit at a time, so they pitch their fruit at the wall, just dribbling down. What a crime. Still not happy with your juicing methods? Well, here's what you can do. Take your fruit on the table and stomp on it with your shoe. There are many ways to go from fruit to juice, you see. You could buy it from the store, or you can play baseball by the sea. Wow, this is very well put. A very creative way to talk about creativity and how to get from point A to point B the best way possible. This poem is a poem about itself by talking about how to be creative. I love it so much. Yeah, it's definitely important to work smarter and not harder, because oftentimes we see ourselves doing the same old routine in order to get stuff done, and it gets boring and we become less productive members of society because of the way we don't want to continue doing these tasks. But if you do what Miss Bell is saying to do and be more creative and add a twist to your everyday experiences, you'll find that you will start enjoying life more, and the mundane activities become more than just that. Very well. Wow, okay, I'm amazed. That was the end already. It flew by. I really hope you stayed till the end. I'm very impressed with how these videos are going so far. This one flew right by for me. Time flies when you're having fun. After these 5 poems, some were kind of emotional, but most of them put me in a really good mood. I'm gonna crush that with one of my sad poems called Faceless. I try to find myself, but I'm lost. This was one of those poems where after I wrote it, I just looked at it and I thought, wow, this really came together better than I expected to, or better than I expected it to, because it's rationalizing a complex thought process, and I was very happy with the results of it. I can't describe the way I feel. I just don't know if I am real. The things I think, are they my thoughts, or are they things that I was taught? They say I have to be myself, not just please everybody else. But who am I? What should I be? I found my friends by losing me. I hide myself behind the lies. Who knows what's under my disguise? Behind my smile, will I find dread? A mask upon a faceless head? Do I exist, or am I lost? The truth is gone, away it's tossed. The real me died too long ago, but who he was, I'll never know. Beautiful! Tell me what you think of this video. Go check the link in the description for all of the posts that I read. Make sure you like and comment to show support on the posts or on the video. I don't mind either way. You do you. I am not here to judge you. I am here to read your amazing content. Before I close this off, of course, I'm gonna mention my fundraiser. You can find the link in my bio right here. CanadaHelps.org, yeah, whatever. For Katima Bank. It's an amazing program which changes the lives of Canadian young adults from the ages of 17 to 25, I do believe. It's a registered charitable organization that has over 40 years experience in developing programs that respond to community needs and support youth development. By participating in this amazing opportunity, I will go to a random city in Canada for 5.5 months, where I will volunteer for 30 hours a week, living in a house with 10 other people. I am so incredibly excited, but in order to go, I have to raise $500, which, by the help of some incredibly generous people who I cannot possibly thank enough, I have so much gratitude for all of you. I have made it to $600. That is $100 above the recommended amount. But since this is something I really care about, I would love to get this to $800. All the money goes directly to Konstantin. It is forwarded from this page directly to them. I'm not corrupt. I don't take any of the money given. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of the day, or if you're watching this at midnight, get some rest. And if you're watching this early in the morning, congrats on waking up early. Have a great day.